So India is at the center of the tech and AI boom. In fact, Bloomberg reports a 7.4% economic growth estimate in India for 2026. And we've also seen huge investments in India over the past year, huge investment commitments, $67.5 billion investment commitments just in the past several months. Microsoft has committed to over $17 billion over the next 4 years and a commitment to upskill 20 million Indian workers. Amazon has committed $35 billion over the next several years, plus another million jobs for Indian workers. Google has committed $15 billion over the next 5 years to grow out the Indian tech center. But if this is the case, why is there so much angst and concern and stress in India? The reality is that all this money that's pouring into India is not necessarily making Indian workers feel warm and fuzzy. In fact, there's a LinkedIn report that came out recently that shows that the AI-driven hiring process is one of the major sources of this anxiety. 84% of professionals feel unprepared for job changes. And this is despite the fact that 72% of Indians are actively seeking new roles. So we've got all these people looking for new roles, and at the same time, they feel like they're not prepared to take on the new roles. And this is, guys, is what I've been really trying to hammer home for everybody that watches the channel, whether you're in India, America, UK, Germany. It's that the world is changing, and you're very quickly likely going to find yourself in a place you've never been before. And that can be scary, but it can also be exciting at the same time. What it is, though, is a reality. Hold that thought. We'll get to that in just a moment. And by the way, if you're new here, this is definitely the time to subscribe, because on this channel, you are going to learn as a man how to remain relevant, respected, and financially free during a time of mass disruption and change. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Fresh videos 6 days a week. So let's look at this. So we've got all these Indians searching for new jobs. They're all concerned. They all feel underprepared, at least a large percentage. In fact, we also see that the number of applicants per position has doubled since 2022. And we covered this in a video a few weeks ago. I'll post a link to it here. What's happening right now is you go to apply for a job, you might have to apply for 200, 300, 400 jobs just to get an interview. So the whole interview process is completely different. And I can say as an American, that's got to be disheartening. But as an Indian especially, that's going to be a big challenge, because it means you're going to need to rely on relationships, not understanding how to submit job applications and resumes. You actually have to get on the call, get on the phone, leverage your relationships to make it happen. The other thing that I think is interesting here is that half of workers fear AI's impact, particularly with routine tasks like bug fixing, data entry, and database construction, etc. And guess what? You should be terrified of AI's impact. Well, maybe not terrified, but you should at least understand that your role is going to change. And I'll give you a perfect example. In the marketing world, I'm responsible for a lot of different things, views, watch time, click-through rates, but I'm also responsible for how many people are signing up, subscribing, and actually attributing revenue to the companies that I'm working with. It's all tracking, metrics, conversions, attribution, click-through rates, et cetera, all this fun language that marketers speak. And a big part of that is going into the back-end database for my clients, into their websites, into the back-end database of their SaaS, and running SQL queries, writing scripts to query the database to get answers that I need, going straight to the source of truth. And I was on a call earlier today with the sales team for one of the organizations that I work with. And I was showing them the back end because they were just not clear on why they were or weren't getting attributed sales and so on and so forth. And I said, let's open up the database. And I started inserting code and running queries. And they said, oh, Mark, you know how to write code? I said, no, but I know how to use ChatGPT. And I can run ChatGPT to run these codes, to run code and to get answers and to run queries against databases. And that, my friends, is not something that was possible just a few years ago, but now it is possible. So in the past, I would need to hire and pay someone to run these queries and run the code. I would say, hey, this is what I need to find out. Can you go run the query? And someone else would do it. Now I can actually do it myself. And that's a big shift, guys, in the power dynamic. Understanding how to write code and understanding the coding language is now accessible to everyone. It's now accessible to everyone. And you need to understand that dynamic. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper here because according to NITI, over the next 5 years, India, this is kind of a shocking number because we see India is booming, but there's also so much angst. According to NITI, over the next 5 years, India could lose 1.5 million tech jobs, or it could add 4 million tech jobs. So that's crazy. That's like go home, like get rich or go broke type of stuff there. It's a huge, huge inflection point. Lots of chaos. So I can appreciate why you'd be concerned. But the reality is we're seeing the same thing here in the United States, guys. We've been covering it week in and week out. Job firings for AI, job rehirings for new roles, firing W-2s, hiring 1099 contractors. The whole market is shifting. We're seeing tariffs, we're seeing inflation, we're seeing interest rates, not even getting into all the global chaos that's happening right now. But here's an interesting thing that Reuters report. Reuters reports that the US job openings slid to a 14-month low in November. The job openings decreased over 300,000 to 7.14 million in November. So there's less job openings here in the States. And the hires also dropped from 250,000 to 5 million. So we're seeing less job openings, less job hirings here in the States. Here's the key message, guys. And this is what I really, really want to pound home in today's video. And as a theme, guys, in order to remain relevant, respected, and financially free, as a man in 2026, you need to accept that change is coming. I've accepted it. I could lose my biggest client tomorrow. Last year, I lost several of my biggest clients. And guess what? It opened up bigger and better opportunities. And I think the same thing is going to happen this year. I do. I think opportunities I can't even dream of are coming my way. Why? That's because I've accepted that change is inevitable and I'm leaning into the change. You want to bring on more competition? Rising tide. You want to add on new ways that make my job more difficult? Let's find a way around it. Guys, this is, or maybe on the flip side, you're finding ways that make my job more easy. Let's lean in and beat out the competition. Because the reality is, guys, that AI is completely changing, completely shifting the global landscape. And, you know, it's essentially right now a race on a global level. We talk about India versus other countries. It is a race to see who can build the infrastructure and who can train people. And if you are AI literate, you're going to be not only at an advantage, but you're going to have the required skills to compete. And quite frankly, it doesn't take a lot. You just need to seize the opportunities when they come. It might not necessarily, depending on where you're at, it might not necessarily be about making more money, but it might be about having more opportunities to be successful. Guys, everything is about to change for everyone at every level, even auto mechanics. I shared a video a few months ago about how AI is replacing the jobs of auto mechanics. And I have a friend who runs the regional, he's the regional manager for a very large chain of auto shops. And what he told me was shocking. I'll post a link to the video here. You can check it out. But he told me all the different ways they're using AI to run estimates, to source products. He explained exactly how they're using AI to book repairs. I mean, he said that AI is responsible for 15% of every car that comes into their garages. 15%. Go check out that video. I think you'll be shocked when I go into the numbers and the details here. So, but here's the story, guys. Here's the key fact. It's really crucial that you accept the change that's happening now. Your families need you. Your kids need you. Wife needs you. Your community needs you. Now's the time to accept the change. And I'll be frank, there are some things that change that I'm not happy about. I would rather something not happen, but let's be real for a moment. It's, you know, if it's happening, you have an obligation to lean into it. Sitting there in a corner with your head in your hands, crying yourself to sleep, ain't gonna solve your problems. So that's the way I see it. And we'll see how it plays out. The reality is, I'm living in the same world as you guys are. I'm in digital marketing and media production. You don't think my world is changing? You don't think my world's gonna change? Everything's changing. And certainly someone like me that lives in the digital world is seeing a lot of change. I'm concerned, but I'm not scared because I'm leaning in, I'm finding the opportunities, I'm building the relationships, I'm learning new skills. And that's where I encourage you to think about going into 2026, whether you're here in America, you're in South America, you're in Europe, or if you're in India. You gotta be thinking about how you can upgrade and find opportunities to improve your skills. Thanks for watching the video today, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, completely free at aiupdate.ai. Get over there, get after it. And if you like today's video, you definitely like yesterday's video where we talk about Microsoft's plan to fire 22,000 employees. Whew, big deal, up to 10% of their workforce on the chopping block. Go check out that video from yesterday right here. I'll see you there. See ya, peace.